Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like even this comment here, he's inherited a lot of poor technical players that he can't coach from scratch. This is also true. However,
Yeah.
there's a
That's
way
another
of.
thing that I'm backing him as well.
However,
Look at
good,
the poor
bruv,
technical
there's
players.
poor technical players at Everton and Wolves, and they're above
They're
us.
suited to what they're doing, though, Rants. Let's
Well,
be
there you
honest.
go, Saeed. So this is what I'm saying because they've got
Wolves are suited to
managers.
that system.
No, because they've got managers, yeah, that are maximizing the ability of their players, and that is your job. That is your
Yes.
primary job before your own philosophy, before your own ethos. Yeah, your job as a coach is to maximize the strengths, minimize the weaknesses of every player in your squad. That is your job first and foremost. Your job is not to paint pretty pictures. It's not to tell me about your
And that's
ideology.
why maybe he got wrong. He thought of the
Yeah.
idea before getting results.
Yeah, but it's not
Maybe
just
he
that.
thought that.
It's
Yeah.
pure vanity and arrogance, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing more vain, than a manager that says, I would rather lose, than play football the way I want to play football, bro. Do you know how vain
No.
that is? Just fucking vain, bro.
Especially when you're
So what?
already in trouble as well.
So you're
Especially
gonna
when you're
run my team into the floor because it can't play the way you want it to play, bro. You're not more important than this football club.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
my point. Amorim thinks that the way he wants to play football is more important than Manchester United Football Club. That is sackable, bro.
Just to
What
go
are
back
we
on
doing?
just to go back on the point there the brother made. You got to remember though, like from what Vitor Pereira has to do, you could argue that's far easier than what Amorim has to do. And
It
what
is, but
David Moyes.
Amorim's supposed to be a higher level coach.
And not only is a high level coach, but also he had to implement a new system to the players. The Wolves manager, all he had to do was build confidence, build maybe a better idea of how we're going to play, and then get results. I believe from where Amorim started was not only sort out the dressing room and who's going to play and who's good enough for the role, but then say, right, we are going to play a completely new system and a new formation that you lot have to get used to. And that there, for me, I have sympathy from the other manager that you mentioned there. And that's why I believe it is similar in terms of getting results, because you have to still get results. Regardless of who you're managing, you have to get results. But in terms of the way the manager has had to start from afresh, that there, it's going to be difficult, man. And that's why I'm like, you know what?
But there's no middle ground with this manager, Saeed. This is my problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because think about it this way.
Yeah.
This is how I would have done it. If I wanted to implement this three at the back system, just like this manager, I'll implement the three at the back system when we have the ball.
Yeah.
We're conceding a lot of goals.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd say, you know what? This is a Man United team under Ten Hag here that had a pretty good defensive record. Pretty good. Wasn't amazing, but it was all right. We weren't getting smoked. Like, you know what I mean? We got the odd 7 against Liverpool, but in general, we didn't concede very many goals. So I'm thinking in my head, how are these guys used to defending? Because how you position yourself when you don't have the ball is the most important thing. We played like a mid to low block here in Ten Hag's first season. We had Cass and Eriksen in the pivot. We weren't conceding goals, not really. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, cool. I need to get them used to how we build up in possession, but out of the ball, I'm going to make sure they're in a shape that they're comfortable with. That's the in-between. That's the in-between. Do you know what I mean? Instead, he's trying to get them to change too much. And not only is he getting them to change too much, but he's doing it with a complete disregard for the strength and the weaknesses of the players he has. That is the worst thing, because at least if he played the right players in the right positions, we wouldn't look this bad, bro. We're playing a 3-4-2-1, The two behind the striker are meant to be 10s, but he's playing a winger there in Garnacho. Why is he not playing 2 midfielders there? It would have made more sense for him to play Eriksen and Kobe there, or Kobe and Mount there, or Bruno and Mount, or Bruno and Kobe. He shouldn't be playing wingers there. The winger should be playing at wing back if he wants to interpret his system the right way. He's chosen to play Garnacho on the touchline, because they're saying that this manager's not compromising his system, but he is. Because he's playing Garnacho as a winger when he's meant to be a number 10.
Yeah, there's definitely confusion in that, because obviously it hasn't helped that some players have not been available and whatnot. But I look at it though, he wanted to come in and create this robustness, because he believed that, if you're not part of my way, you're not going to play. And that's why maybe Rashford and Anthony didn't see eye to eye with the manager and didn't fall into the system because he wanted certain players to play in this position.
Yeah, but Anthony could have played as a wing back and he would have been fine.
He could have. But I think ultimately the manager, I'm not saying creating too many enemies here, but I think he did too much at the start. You feel me? Like, I think it would have been better for him. And I'm not saying keep Rashford for the sake of keeping Rashford. Like, if you believe he's not good enough for your system, cool. But I believe at the start, you need to get everyone else on board rather than creating this kind of almost old school mentality. Because right now, as much as you like it or not, them players are going to get you wins. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the start, and even until now, like, he would love it if a Rashford was getting him the goals here and there. Like, he would love it because he's in trouble right now. That's the beauty of, like, management and also understanding how you choose your battles here and there. So I think for me, he'd have made a mistake. But again, like I said to you, he's a very young manager.
But do you think he can come back from this mistake? Because guess who else made this mistake? David Moyes.
Who? David Moyes.
He came in. He changed too many. David Moyes came in. He changed the tactics. He got rid of the backroom staff. Remember, they said to him,
David Moyes was almost. Let's be honest, though. Did he get really backed in the summer, though?
He didn't. But David Moyes came in. They said to David Moyes, like, keep the United backroom staff that Fergie's
he didn't do that, no.
At least while you transition into what you're doing. He said, nope, I'm going to do it my way, have my own people, moved everyone on, and tried to do things too quickly. And he lost the dressing room, bro. Like, you've heard Rio talk about it. You've heard Vidic talk about it. He lost the dressing room straight away, bro. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as he lost the dressing room, that was him gone, bro. And David Moyes did better than Ruben Amorim.
Yeah.
He did better than Ruben Amorim, bro, but he had better players. But
he has also he fell out with the senior players as well, like Evra and
well, there you go. You can't tell me that these Man United fans players are happy with losing every week, Saeed. Bro. They're not used to this. Even under Ten Hag, they're not used to this.
No. But that, again, like I said to you, it's difficult because when you put all that together, my biggest concern is the player quality in this squad, like. And I get it. We could get better results, 100%, no doubt. But to what level? You know what I mean? Are we all going to still be satisfied with them group of players that we're seeing right now? I don't think we totally are. You know what I mean? So it becomes a case of, right, we could finish maybe 12th, finish 10th, 9th, 8th. But we weren't ever going to be, let's be honest, a top 6 team. We look at the standards we've seen so far from other teams. We weren't.
I don't necessarily agree, Saeed. You know why? Because
you think so?
When I look at Forest, Forest are not a better team than us, and Forest have been in and around the top 6 for the duration of the Premier League. I genuinely believe, if a competent manager takes over Man United 4 points off top 4, we get top 6. If we stay with a back 4.
Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you. That's a big.
If we stay with a back 4 and we do what we should have been doing, like for instance, if Thomas Frank comes in and he plays the same way he plays with Brentford with these Man United players. I believe we get top 6. I believe we possibly even get top 5.
I agree.
Because it's top 5 this year. It's not top 6.
No. I agree. I believe if he didn't change the system and he brought in a manager, because you got to remember, Ruud van Nistelrooy got how many wins did he get while he was there? Like
3 wins and a draw.
3 wins and a draw, and that was playing the 4-3-3 basically, or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to look at it. He got them consistency while the time was there because you didn't really need to change much. You had Cass, Ugarte, Bruno. You had the Ahmad out wide, whoever's out on the left. You know what I mean? And it was simple to get. You had 2 fullbacks. Mazraoui was actually playing his best in that period there when he was playing at fullback. You know, so you kind of knew what was going on. This right here, the reason why I give benefit of doubt to Amorim is that he's had to change pretty much.
But he hasn't had to, though, Saeed. This is the point. Saeed, he's chosen to. And in life, you live and you die by your choices.
But we knew he was a 3-4-3 manager. We knew it was a pre. We can't just say change who you are.
It does. I'm not saying don't play the 3-4-3. I'm saying find the middle ground.
Okay.
Find the middle ground. You can't say that you don't have your players because you knew you didn't have your players before you came in. So you should have found the middle ground. Do you understand? You don't go in and try and change too many things. You play players. Play players in the right positions. Give everyone a fair chance. He didn't give everyone a fair chance. He was trying to get rid of Xerxes and Casemiro in January. He got rid of Rashford. He got rid of Anthony as well. Anthony wasn't given a fair chance in this formation because look at the amount of games Garnacho and Højlund have started. Anthony wasn't given a chance.
Oh, that
So,
again is wrong as well.
but he wasn't given a chance. So my point is, yeah, he's come in and he won't admit it, but he'll regret getting rid of Rashford and Anthony now. He'll regret that now
Oh,
because
massive.
he tried to phase out Casemiro, and luckily Cas was still here, managed to
That's
fight
the
his way
best, bro.
back in the team. Exactly. Same with Xerxes.
Yeah.
Everyone's complimenting Xerxes' attitude because when he got subbed off after 20 minutes or something like that, he didn't lose his head. He didn't
Nah.
say, yo, I want out of this fucking football club, because he could have done that. And then he turned it around and became an important player for us. So imagine if the manager got his wishes and Casemiro and Xerxes also left in January. Look who it would be now.
Yeah, we probably got relegated. I don't know. Like, it's
But
scary
bro,
to think like that.